Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna show you my latest design, which is a 3D printed MiG-29. It's a semi-scale version of the real one. It's gonna be powered by two 64mm EDFs on 6S. This one is still a prototype, so it still doesn't have any details, panel lines, but I think it's gonna be super fun to fly since I've designed it to have two thrust vectoring nozzles. It's around 1300mm long and 3D printed with lightweight PLA to keep it as light as possible. I've started by assembling the thrust vectoring system. It comes with built-in supports which come off pretty easily. I've actually reprinted the center part, the one with the pins, with the PTG because it didn't feel strong enough, and all of the other thrust vectoring parts are printed with two walls of lightweight PLA to keep it as light as possible. Since the EDFs are placed in the back of the fuselage and the ESCs are placed all the way in the front, I needed to extend the ESC cables, so I bought some 14 AWG silicone wire and soldered it directly to the ESCs to be able to connect the ESCs to the EDFs. And I repeated the process for both of the ESCs. So here is the finished ESC. As you can see, I have soldered all of the three cables here, the ones that go to the EDF, and I've also soldered an XT90 connector since I'm going to use a 6S, so it's better to use the XT90. Now I just wanna try the thrust vectoring. I will just glue them with the hot glue. This way I can remove it if it doesn't work. And yeah, it's glued on. It moves, it works. Here is the EDF. I'm just gonna plug the connectors in randomly. So I've connected the EDF and it turns the correct way because it blows out air. So it's ready to be installed. Installing the EDF is a quite easy process. You basically just have to use some hot glue drops under the EDF tabs and put it in place. You can then add some more hot glue over the tabs to make it stronger, but the EDF won't move from there. I've used this setup on many of my designs and it worked pretty well, also after a long time. I'm not gonna glue it yet, the fuselage, because I want to make sure that everything works as it should. So I've just put some tape all around just to keep it from moving, and I will now install the elevator and rudder servo and check that the thrust vectoring works. The elevator servo is installed by using some hot glue, just some hot glue. It's super solid. The servo cover that will sit right here, okay, will be just glued with some hot glue here in the angles, so it will be easy to remove. As you can see, works pretty well. So the elevator servos are held in place with some hot glue, while the rudder servo is held in place with two servo screws screwed to a PTG base. I think I have to change the position of the length, or the length, I don't know yet, but it has not a lot of the rudder control, so I think I need to change something. I've used some 2mm ball links here on the thrust vectoring, because as you can see, when you move the rudder, the elevator stays super still and doesn't move. So since this fuselage part and the thrust vectoring are working, I will continue by installing the second thrust vectoring and the servo, the ASC and everything else. And I will then move to the elevons, both of them. And I think I will then proceed to glue all the fuselage parts. For all of the joining parts, there are slots to insert 3D printed alignment tabs to align the parts correctly. I'm using medium CA glue and a CA accelerator to make the joints very strong. Now I'm going to install the second EDF the same way I did for the first one, so just connecting the EDF to the ESC and then using some hot glue on the EDF tabs to fix it to the fuselage. I've assembled the other thrust vectoring, so I've installed the ball links here too, and I'm just gonna glue it onto the fuselage part. Everything works. I've reconnected the servos, glued the fuselage part and both of the thrust vectoring. There's no play. I'm super happy. Seems solid. Need to test it on flight, but looks like it's working. Elevators, rudder. I'm now going to assemble the Eleon. It's actually a pretty straightforward process. We started by gluing and inserting a 3D printed pin inside a 6mm carbon tube. Then I proceed by gluing the two parts that will hold the carbon tube and the Eleon. It's printed in PTG with 100% infill, so it's very strong and it will hold the Eleon without any problem. I then joined the two Elevons parts with CA glue. The alignment tabs give a very precise alignment of the two parts. I then glued the control horn of the Eleon. I didn't really like the way it was because glue could easily go inside the carbon tube hole, so I redesigned it for the second version and made it wider to avoid the glue go inside the carbon tube hole. Then I have just inserted the carbon tube inside the hole and I carefully placed CA glue inside the hole onto the carbon tube, making sure that no glue went into part that need to move. You have a moving Eleon. Most of the fuselage is complete. Both the EDFs and the ESCs are installed. Thrust vectoring is working. Now need to connect the Elevons. Let's proceed with the Eleon servos and then I can glue all of the rest of the fuselage, the wings, and I think we're almost ready for maiden flight. I'm preparing the servos. They're the same ones I've used on the thrust vectoring. I've just installed a 50 centimeters servo extension. As always, I connect the servo to the receiver and make sure it's centered. You basically just need to put some small drops of hot glue and insert the servo. Now I just use some CA glue to glue the rest of the fuselage parts together. It's now time for the wings. I've already assembled the first one. As you can see, it's split in 3 pieces. There are 2 carbon rods, 6mm of diameter, and they are removable. These are some PTG inserts here in the wing too. Just slide the wing and you insert a bolt and screw it. I've used some 6x3mm round magnets to secure the EDF hatches to the fuselage. They are very strong and very easy to remove in any moment. Fuselage complete. Well, there's vertical tails to be installed yet, but this will be the last thing. Wings are done. Just need to install the nose, but I need to check the CG before, because if it's too tail heavy I will print a heavier nose. So the canopy is glued. They have 2 magnets here, like on the hatch. This pin, which is printed in PTG, will just insert there and be blocked with the magnets. Works, it's pretty satisfying. And yeah. Vertical tails are split into parts. This way they will fit most of the printers, also the smaller ones, and then they are simply glued to the fuselage. I think I will install the wings and check the CG and the final weight. So the weight without the LiPo is around 1400 grams, which is around 2 kilos with the battery. I've mixed all of the control surfaces, so the elevons and the thrust vectoring, which works as an elevator, rudder and aileron. The MiG is ready for its first flight. The last things I did were to install the battery tray here to install the battery, and then I modified the EDF hatches to have more air go into the EDFs. I've also installed the wings with 2 screws here, one here, one on the other side, and so the wing is secured to the fuselage. So we are at the airfield. There's pretty much no wind, the sun is shining, and the MiG too. I hope this maiden flight will go as expected, so that it will fly good, since I spent a lot of time on this project. It's the first time I develop a thrust vectoring system that I really trust. I think it will work, so I hope it will fly as good as it looks, because I'm pretty happy about the final result. I really don't like these air intakes, they really ruin the airframe, but I've already modified them, and they will be less visible, let's say that. And let's see how it goes. I'm pretty confident, and I really hope I don't have to reprint it again, so let's go.
Sotto alto.
Segnale radio basso.
I instantly had a very good feeling with the plane. It felt very stable and precise, and so from the first moment it gave me some confidence to try maneuvers with the thrust vectoring.
Wow.
Bene, 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 bene. Nice.
Va bene?
Very nice.
Non mi è rimasto niente.
Vai. This was like the 4th or 5th flight. I've managed to get more throws on the thrust vectoring by increasing the length of the servo horns, and I've moved the CG further back to have more stability on low speed flight. You can see that it was much more maneuverable thanks to the increased throws on the thrust vectoring. So as you've seen, the first flight went very good. I'm super happy. It's always satisfying when a project that you spent months on turns out to be successful. In my opinion, there's still some things that need to be improved. I will for sure add the panel lines and details to the airframe because it's pretty naked now. There's no details. I will make some modifications to the EDFs, to the canopy, and some other parts, but in conclusion I can say I'm pretty happy, and I think you will see the final files soon. This time I flew with no gyro because I didn't have enough channels on the receiver, but I ordered a bigger receiver so I can fit a gyro to work on the thrust vectoring section. This way I will surely improve flight characteristics. Said so, thank you very much for watching the video. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel to support it, and see you soon with the next project.